etwas. Solch ein Schritt eingefangen. Eine Lawine! Oh Gott, nein! Papa!
Rege Emergency, Müller.
Help us! We're trapped! I can't see my son! Wir sind unter einer Lawine begraben. Raphael, sag doch bitte etwas. Raphael!
Rege to Rege 9, avalanche emergency. Rege 7 roads below Benitez Pass, over. Rege 9, Roger. We are airborne. Rege to Rege 9. Update on your avalanche. The GPS coordinates are 800775 on 144525. Rege 9, Roger.
Raphael! Hurry! I think I see him!
Rege 9 to Rega. We have a visual on the accident, over.
Roger, Rege 9.
Let me here!
Just so you know, Mom's actually a good driver. I had a concussion, but I remember this really cool sound. If you have to go to the hospital, take my advice. The best way is by helicopter.
A child born into a world with helicopters lives in a world where the miraculous is commonplace. A world where doctors swoop down from the sky. For generations, we dreamt of vertical flight. Yet by 1930, we were still at the dawn of the practical rotorcraft. Helicopters couldn't lift patients to safety. They could barely lift themselves safely. The necessary control systems had yet to be invented. And so, before the helicopter, we had this, the autogyro. Controlled like an airplane, but lifted on blades like a helicopter, the autogyro was a hybrid, an evolutionary missing link from which the working helicopter was born. The helicopter could hover in one spot. It had an improved control system, and as a result, a new kind of pilot. A pilot who uses all four limbs to fly, all at the same time. Watch his left hand carefully. He's holding the collective pitch control as he pulls up on it. Straight up. The blades act as small wings, but spin so fast they create one continuous disc of lift. And when those blades collectively change angle or pitch, the aircraft rises or descends. The pilot's right hand points the cyclic control, tilting the whirling disc above. Point right, go right. Point left, go left. This is the chopper's tail rotor. Once again, altering the angle of the blades affects direction. The chopper spins in response to the pilot depressing one of 2 foot pedals. If he depresses the other foot pedal, it spins the other way. There's no one in the world for whom flying a helicopter comes naturally. But practice produces pilots as adept as the aircraft they fly. By the early 1940s, the whirlybird had gained acceptance. But we wanted more power, more stability. Nicknamed the Flying Banana, this tandem rotor workhorse from the 1950s lifted troops and supplies at record speeds. The helicopter was a success. We started to wonder, what can it do for us next? In wind tunnels like these at California's NASA Ames Research Center, new helicopter ideas are tested. Ideas like robotic helicopters, high-speed hybrids, and advances in quiet technology. But not all the complexities of helicopter flight can be modeled in smoke or mathematics.
Okay, let's do the conversion now.
The XV-15 is an experimental rotorcraft. It's the parent of a new family of aircraft called tilt rotors.
You just have way too much fun in that thing, you know that? Here we go.
Taking off and landing like a helicopter, its engines can pivot forward in flight, turning a helicopter into a high-speed airplane. The V-22 Osprey has wings that swing and rotors that fold to facilitate storage at sea.
Converting circuit breakers, you ready for those?
Yes.
It's still a tilt rotor, but faster, with 3 times the range and over 10 times the payload of its predecessor.
Gas engaged, FFS engaged.
Got it.
Flight 40.
40.
Engine check. Transponder is set. Flat FA, we're on it.
In less than 90 seconds, you get this.
No jettison pins, I've got mine out. You got yours.
Got mine.
The promise of long-distance travel without airports.
And C10 brake.
Release.
But rotorcraft evolution is also in the hands of the entrepreneur. That independent spirit takes flight in this gyroplane. While some designs produce groundbreaking change, this aircraft brought the economy and safety of the autogyro into the 21st century. We're being watched, and by someone who's invisible, at least on radar. Comanche's rigid rotor, seamless skin, and enclosed fantail make it agile and stealthy. It's smart, fast, and ready to win the game of hide and seek. Where is the enemy? Where are my friends? Comanche will be the first to know. And knowledge means survival. The helicopter is a complex flying creation, a revolutionary tool with a human being at its heart. Every hour of every day, it extends our powers, fires our imagination, and puts us to work.
5 miles southeast of Sands Key, 2525 north, 8005 west, airdrop in progress, airdrop in progress.
Out over the Caribbean, U.S. Customs is on watch.
Roger that. Looks like over 25 bales are still dropping. We've got a go-fast boat coming in for the pickup, and 4-5 Charlie Sierra. Suspect aircraft is bugging out. Roger, Omaha 49. Stick with that aircraft. Helos are on the way.
Watch the A-Star. Watch the Black Hawk. Watch the A-Star. Watch the Black Hawk. Heading 050. Heading 050.
You hear that alarm, you start running to the aircraft. Fast.
Control levers to fly. Troop stuff's coming out. Generator lights 1 and 2 coming off. Good to go.
Smugglers used to run narcotics under cover of night. Now they try at any time.
Omaha 99. 35 Whiskey's turning north for the takedown.
9-9, Roger. We'll cover the back door.
Come on, man. Come on, come on. Move it. Let's go.
Takedown in progress.
Get down the ground. Hands working, Leo.
Suspect boat is running east.
9-9 is inbound. Low level.
We got Marine backup 3 miles south.
Roger that. Let's cut these guys off.
In an hour, they can be back in international waters. And I don't want to see them again next week. If they don't back down, we get creative with the rotor wash. Whips up the sea spray, makes it real hard for them to navigate, and that buys us time.
Let me know when they're in the wash. They're all yours.
We're on them.
It's a cat and mouse game, and I hate mice.
The helicopter extends the long arm of the law and empowers this white knight on a quest to keep the juice flowing.
I don't give 2 hoots and a holler about flying inside a helicopter. Put me outside. That's where I want to be. On the magic carpet. Back in the late 1800s, there was a gentleman by the name of Michael Faraday. He had a theory that if you enclosed a man in a metal cage and energized that cage at whatever voltage, the man would still live. The voltage would flow around him. I wear a hot suit. It's 75% Nomex for fire retardant and 25% stainless steel thread. And that metal thread means I have a Faraday cage around me. 500,000 volts pass over my body, but I can work without interference from the electricity. As long as the helicopter is isolated from ground, we have the ability to bring ourselves to the same voltage potential as the line, like a bird on a wire. Our pilots are very smooth. It's like they can read our every thought. There's such a hunger for electricity these days. Nobody wants to take lines out of service just to maintain them. I've had many people ask me, do you think what you do is safe? And I say, well, in our operation, everything that we do, every move that we make is thought of and rehearsed before, so it's as safe as crossing the street. It's not a job for a hot dog. There's only 3 things I've ever been afraid of. Electricity, heights, and women. And I'm married, too.
Floating above the forest, the 12-ton weightlifter selects a target with precision.
It's kind of like looking down 25 stories, picking up a telephone pole. Ideally, when you come over the top, you're stationed perfectly above it. But odds being what odds are, and the wind being what it is, it's not always that easy. I like flying logs rather than seeing the hillside get scarred up. Lifting straight out of the forest. You're not scraping it up the hill. You're not eroding the soil. It's so much cleaner on the environment. It's kind of like flying a bus. You got to plan your movements out. It takes a moment for it to react, but when it does, it's a serious reaction. The unique thing about this helicopter is that when we take off of the ground, we're approximately 22,000 pounds. We're rigging for about 26,000 pounds. So the load actually weighs more than the helicopter. It's exciting and harrowing all at the same time.
This type of lifter was built to haul a very different cargo. When loaded down with troops, supplies, and armor plate, it still plays a role on the helicopter's biggest stage.
Tower, you're clear to launch on the launch officer signal. Winds 15 degrees, port at 30 knots.
Area is clear to launch.
Waiting 55. Red line 77 tower. Go ahead, sir. And 99 helos, my plan right now is to launch you all, put you in the starboard D. We've got one fix we can shoot. Well, go, sir.
I've got Shamrock to launch.
This recon team is at the focal point of the mission to gain valuable intelligence about the enemy. Call sign, Shamrock.
Condor 1-4, you're clear for takeoff. Roger. Condor 1-4, clear for takeoff.
And we're 66, ugly 00, Red Lion 77. Clear to lift in that order.
Roger. Sliding left.
Winds 10 degrees port, 30 knots. Port of view.
Roger. We're looking good.
66, follow the D-53's ERC 080, altimeter 3002.
Coming up ahead, half a mile, left 10. Bulldog 1, this is Condor 1-4, we're right on time. Condor 1-4, Bulldog 1, roger.
Red line 77, follow D-53 to head to right, enter starboard D.
Condor, gunrunner is sprinting. Trophy's coming up on the right side, 3 o'clock. I got him.
02, gunrunner and warrior aircraft will be working the vicinity in the next 0 plus 30. Okay, we'll be coming easy left.
Gunrunner 1-4 is clear.
Shamrock team leader is Sergeant Kennecke. He's first in, last out.
First name, second name, third name, fourth name.
By the time you get to touch rope in a live situation, you and your men feel tighter than family. Your fates are tied with the strands of the rope.
Condor 1-4, Shamrock is deployed. Ropes aboard. We're on the go. Start checklist for objective Bravo.
2 hours later, Kennecke and his men have completed their mission. Now, enemy forces are tracking them on the ground.
Legacy, Shamrock. Roger, Shamrock. This is Legacy 1-0. Go ahead. Legacy, when you pause, estimate enemy contact 1,000 meters north.
Extraction, even more than insertion, is when you need speed. You've been awful quiet, and then suddenly, you're awful loud.
Right side.
relief to get out, but everything slows down while you're exposed, holding your breath for that happy ending. And when you get it, you feel on top of the world. Of course, then we got to commute home, just like everybody else.
Sometimes, something very different must be delivered behind enemy lines. Something precious and desperately needed. Food. Sierra Leone is a country that has suffered years of conflict.
I find it extremely tragic that people are still starving to death in this century. They live from day to day. If they are attacked, if they are displaced, if they have to move from the area that they have access to their food, then that's when the process starts. That's when they start losing the way to cope.
The UN is here, not to favor really one side over another. I mean, we're here basically to end a conflict and then try to get the parties to settle the difference and to try to return a country to peace. Infrastructure for roads in this country is very minimal. It's almost imperative that we be able to move troops in and also the supplies and equipment they need by air. This is the world's largest helicopter, and I'll tell you, without it, we certainly would be lost in this country.
From the food depot to the hotspot, helicopters provide an air bridge.
Daru itself, it is kind of an island, a safe island surrounded by areas that are unsafe. And for that reason, it always served as a sort of magnet for very vulnerable people coming out. You have a supplementary feeding program that is run by one of the NGOs, International Medical Care. So all children under 5 who are malnourished will be given a special feeding program in Daru. And the under 5 are always the first ones you target for any kind of extreme malnourished cases because they die very quickly. You give some bulgur, some oil, and some split peas. You give them very basic things that can give a lot of hope and can change people's lives.
Around the world, millions of human lives have been saved by helicopters. In South Africa, they are helping to save a wild animal from extinction, the black rhino. Protected in a few remote preserves, their numbers are rising. But if the rhinos feel overcrowded, they will fight to the death. Some must be relocated to safe habitats. Easier said than done.
There's only about 3,000 black rhinos left in the world, which makes them extremely endangered.
Just going in to have a look.
Okay, onder ons nou.
I'll keep you informed.
Ja, Piet, jy nie bult. Net rechts van hom.
Okay, there she goes. So at least we've got a good angle on her. Let's give her a gap. Else we scare her. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to hold back here and see what she does.
When you are darting animals like black rhino, there's this immense trust between myself and Pete the pilot. I know exactly what he's going to do and where he's going to place me, and I don't have to think. I can just concentrate on the animal. I just know he's going to put me there in the right spot at the right time. It's almost that he senses what the animal's going to do. In that way, he can change the animal's mind with his helicopter.
I'm going in for my dot.
Nice shot.
working with these animals, one's got to be very careful at all times. You don't want to waste an animal's life.
Okay, Daryl, are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You guys can move, Dave. The one that we've got here is a female, and we would like to try and sling her out, so get all the stuff ready for slinging.
The helicopter is actually now a part of me. So I don't even think about flying. I feel extremely comfortable in a helicopter. I can read the animals and understand them, and I've got the patience not to push them too hard.
Jay, I think you can move in slightly.
Down already, over?
Yeah, she's down, and just watch out. The one that we darted in here with me, please come.
Okay.
Once the animal is darted, we try to get to it as soon as possible, make sure it's breathing well. We've been collecting blood samples, horn samples, and skin samples from the ear mark. And all these will be used to its full extent to get as much information as possible. And that will make it possible to manage them in terms of relocation. Black rhinos need space. It's not an animal that survives very well in zoo situations. Every animal is just so valuable, and any information that can be collected on them, it's worth its weight in gold.
Every helicopter crew is in a race against time. Every mission has a limit. But some crews push that limit out into the unknown.
SAR launch. Put the ready 860 and C-130 on the line. Vessel taking on water. Put the ready 860 and C-130 on the line. SAR launch. Put the ready 860 and C-130 on the line. Vessel taking on water.
Lock it up, please.
We were working in tandem with a C-130 Hercules that day. Our mission was to search and rescue two brothers whose 26-foot sailboat was taking on water. They were about 250 miles out. In February, when you're alone in the Atlantic, that spells trouble.
City Air, Rescue Copter 6026. Any updates on the status of the two men on board?
26 E-City, roger. Status is unknown at this time.
One sentence doesn't exist for a rescue swimmer. That is, sir, I can't do it. They won't ever say that, especially if they see the survivor. Then it's their survivor and it's personal.
Rescue 6026, Camslant Chesapeake. The C-130 reports that the vessel is sinking. Survivors are in the water. Camslant 6026, roger that. Doug, time to fire up the night sun.
Everything comes down to one tight-knit team. We make the confirmed plan as a group.
I have a visual on the vessel. 10 o'clock at 200 yards. Boat is fully capsized. No sign of survivors.
Adrenaline can get to you. Bob's first time out, he jumped without his fins, and we've been calling him Flipper ever since.
I have a visual on two survivors. 9 o'clock at 75 yards. They've left the vessel. Roger that. Give me a checklist part 2 for a harness deployment of the rescue swimmer. Roger. Preparing the hoist. Set backup pump on. Backup pump is on. Set hoist all. Hoist is all. Checking swimmer. Swimmer's ready?
At night, the sharks scare me. I don't pretend I'm not afraid. I work within my fear. I prepare for it. Rescue swimmers prepare for everything.
Swimmer going down. Swimmer halfway down. Roger. On the east. Hold position. Lowering swimmer into the water. Swimmer away. Swimmer okay. Basket is away. Roger. Rick, be advised we are bingo fuel in 20 minutes. Roger that.
Some people we rescue get combative. You're saving their life, but they're just so scared. They're fighting to survive in deep water.
Basket's halfway up. Basket's at 20 feet. Basket's at 10 feet. Basket is at the cabin. Basket going down. Roger that. Rick, we are bingo fuel inside. Roger. Checklist part 2 to recover the rescue swimmer. Roger, sir. We have a front cable here. It's bird cage within the hoist drum, sir. Can you get it out? Negative, we've lost the hoist. How's the fuel looking there, Frank? We are bingo fuel at this time. If we don't depart right now, we're not going to make it. Doug, can you use the ERD? Negative, I'm unable to pay out cable. Doug, see if you can get that raft down into the water to the source. Drop the DMV and we'll see if we can get the Hurt to relay, request another helicopter out here. Raft is away.
You face a challenge. There isn't anything you wouldn't do to meet it. That makes it hard when fate steps in.
Let's head on out of here. Let's depart the hover now. Be advised, we have a failed hoist and we are bingo fuel. We completed our emergency procedures, leaving the rescue swimmer on scene.
I knew I'd be in the water for a while, but I wasn't thinking about sharks. I was thinking how glad I was that we got those guys out. If you lose someone, it can haunt you for the rest of your life. I've never lost anyone, so I sleep at night. Well, most nights.
When they radioed us that Flipper was all right, we were just so grateful. When it's one of your own men, you feel it even more. You realize what a privilege it is to fly a helo. It's a chance to make a difference in someone's life.
It's the most beautiful sound you can wake up to.
This is a film about helicopters, and it really celebrates the role of the helicopter, the incredible invention of the helicopter, and the tremendous practical applications, both civilian and military, around the world. We've been very fortunate in this case to have both the relationship with the Smithsonian and the National Air and Space Museum, which originated this film.
When Jonathan Barker called and told us that he thought that Di Roberts and I might partner with him to compete for a project about helicopters at the National Air and Space Museum, we were delighted. We were looking for a way that we could work together, and it's been a very productive and informative, I think, and we've worked much harder than I thought we ever expected to, and the success of our working relationship has really been facilitated by the Smithsonian's executive producers, Patty Woodside.
People just never seem to get tired of the IMAX format and the experience. It takes you there like no other medium can. It allows you to have a thrill ride. In this particular film, we've been able to take you on a ride because that's what the helicopter does best. You'll be in the helicopter. Mostly in other films, the helicopter is taking you there and is used as a vehicle to make the film happen. In this particular sequence, the helicopter is the film.
We're being watched, and by someone who's invisible.
The idea of making a helicopter film in the large format is this perfect match, really, of subject matter and format because of the engagement of the big screen and the kinesthetic effect, and you can really feel like you're there riding these machines.
Where is the enemy? Where are my friends? Comanche will be the first to know.
Education is our most important product here at the museum, and we believe that not only do we educate, but we inspire. And one of the things that is necessary these days to inspire people is to give them a spectacular view or an unusual view of something, and there's nothing that compares with the IMAX format when it comes to that.
Well, the wonderful thing about IMAX is it takes the viewer to the place. It's a convincing reality which you substitute for the reality of somebody's normal life. Helicopter crews live lives which very few people ever see, and like astronauts or like other people who do work in very extreme situations or very distant situations or very specialized situations, only helicopter crews really know what they're doing.
When you get into a machine, you don't just get into it. You strap it on, it becomes part of you. It's an extension of who you are. You become part of the machine. And as I said, you listen to it, you hear it, you feel it, you smell it, you taste it. I mean, everything about the aircraft becomes part of who you are.
And one of the objectives of this film was to carry the audience out there to really give them a sense of what kind of strange things are being done by helicopters and helicopter crews around the world to keep our world ticking.
My favorite sequence in the film is the power line repair sequence, without question. It's really quite an extraordinary thing to witness, and one of the things that's tremendous about it is that it's one of those sequences that is unexpected for the audience. They don't really know about this.
I don't give two hoots and a holler about flying inside a helicopter. Put me outside. That's where I want to be.
What a deal. What an invention.
I think Pete wants to go up.
I want to drive this thing. I want to hear it. This guy in the air.
So much for being on the ground doing the sound.
Right, the camera ship will actually be, this is about how
the amazing work that's done by ag rotors in Pennsylvania and all up and down the eastern seaboard to keep the power flowing it was a complete surprise to me. I had no idea that you can find people to ride on the outside of those helicopters and get them to step off onto the live lines to do work on those lines. All of this, I thought, sounded like utter madness. And I think when you see it in the film, you'll think it looks like madness.
I wear a hot suit. It's 75% Nomex for fire retardant and 25% stainless steel thread. And that metal thread means I have a Faraday cage around me. 500,000 volts pass over my body, but I can work without interference from the electricity.
The helicopter that really allows you to do this is this Hughes 500 type design, which is a very small rotor disc, a very lightweight helicopter, which is the favorite of ag rotors for this type of application, where they're going to hover the aircraft for long periods of time within a 1 cubic foot. They'll just hold the aircraft there, bond it onto the wires for an hour while someone does the work that they need to do, and then on the wires, and then climbs back onto the helicopter from the wires. So it's a remarkable application for a remarkable little aircraft.
My favorite part of the film is seeing those Marines doing their extractions in their spy rig and the fast roping.
Well, okay, the U.S. Marines are really the premier organization for the vertical envelopment doctrine. They have a tremendous breadth of commitment to rotorcraft, and they use them in a wide variety of ways to support all of their missions. The Cobras are probably the most well recognized. They're sleek little gunships that are very maneuverable and have a wide range of weaponry which they can bring to bear.
I got him. 02, gun runner at Warrior Aircraft.
This recon team is at the focal point of a mission to gain valuable intelligence about the enemy.
The troops themselves are moved around in the big Sikorsky CH-53s. The Boeing CH-46s are still the principal troop moving instrument after 30 years in service. I think they've been, and we flew with them a lot and used them as camera platforms to shoot the other aircraft from. They hold about 22 people, and so there's plenty of room in there for all of our stuff. Well, the Tyler Monster Mount, as we call it, is a structure which bolts to the exterior of an A-Star type helicopter, and it puts the camera right up under the chin in front of us, so that it's like having a chair out of the nose of the helicopter. We have no way of sitting in that chair ourselves other than to work remotely from this chair beside the pilot. Look at the image that we're seeing and that the audience is seeing through a monitor here in the console, and we can control the monitor, we can control the camera, we can control the various functions of the IMAX camera, whether it's the speed or the exposure, the duration of the shot, the angle of the camera on the front of the helicopter. All of those functions we are able to control from a position seated here beside the pilot, where we can ask the pilot to redirect the helicopter in relation to the subject, whatever that is.
Down here, sort of thing. Yeah, because when I turn on them like that, I sink into my downwash, so I sneak up on them.
Sky traffic go 4 Alpha Foxtrot, simulated engine failure for runway 17 Buckeye.
How are we doing, David? Good. Very nice, camera still rolls. Continue left turn. Here we go, stand by left brake on my mark. 3, 2, 1, brake, brake, brake.
One of the interesting views that you can have of helicopters is to look down on their rotor system while they're flying. And this mount is particularly good for that because it has a big pivot point here, and the entire table here rotates right through 90 degrees, so we can look straight down on top of the rotor system of another helicopter and then tilt up again into this attitude as the helicopter flies away from us, for example.
The aircraft or the aircraft becomes like on the ground, you can assimilate it to like dolly track, where a camera would go on a piece of track, and that can be designed in such a way to give a smooth transition into different shots. The helicopter is the same way, but we're in dimensions. We're in a free-flowing dimensional world. So we may stack over the back end of the aircraft and look down at it, depends on the camera system. We may come around on the profile, we may come around on the front or dolly around the aircraft. We may be making crossing moves over the aircraft, so that we have an exit shot. We may come around the other way to have a departing shot, that type of thing. So it's a dance. It's done in concert with the crews coming together and making it all safe and again giving it some energy and some pop.
One of the things that I thought was most interesting is just the basic control mechanisms and how tricky it is and how really unnatural it is for people to operate these machines, and the kind of skill that it actually takes to hover and maneuver these machines.
And as you live in that world, as you live in there, you develop those. You learn to get plugged into the machine. You learn to become sensitized to the aircraft, knowing where the tail rotor might be, knowing what kind of power you're pulling. You can hear it, you can feel it. You don't even have to look at gauges. You know what's going on. You feel what the pedals are doing, and you're manipulating. So somebody who's doing heavy lift work, it's precision. It's getting in and doing something precise with a line and a hook or pinchers or whatever you may be using. The Columbia helicopter sequence for me was a lot of fun and challenging in the respects as well, because the machine that those gentlemen use up there is quite large. Obviously it's there because it can lift a tremendous amount of weight. And for us to be able to get in there, to get into the shot, to get close, our incentive, our drive, our requirement is that we be exceptionally close. I mean, very, very close, a lot closer than you would ever really be in any other type of environment. And of course, this aircraft has two rotor systems that are spinning, and what we're trying to do is come in and give the audience an idea of the dynamic that is occurring with this machine in a forest. And then from that standpoint, you have to be conscious of where you are in relation to it, because again, if he has a problem, I have to be able to react quickly. If I have a problem, I've got to be able to stay away from him and not put him in harm's way. One of the shots we did is we had our Chinook in one sequence where he was in a hover with his line. We were off his nose, probably a half a disc. We craned up in front of the aircraft, and then as we moved across the two rotor systems down the axis of the aircraft, we would dolly down, and I could feel the aircraft sucking the air, or pulling the air in through the rotor system. And not that it was ever a safety issue, but again, it gets your attention because you can feel that. You have to pull a little more collective. You gotta think about what's going on, because those two rotor systems are pulling in quite a bit of air.
Floating above the forest, the 12-ton weightlifter selects a target with precision.
One of the most active and exciting branches of the U.S. Customs Service is operating in South Florida, where certainly much of the drug running is taking place by boat along that shore and by light aircraft into the Florida area. The customs interdiction campaign, which is underway down there, happens against an exciting background. So we wanted to showcase that activity in a way that would be both exciting and appealing just as a place to be. So South Florida, the Miami Air Branch agreed to be part of this with us, and they fly Black Hawk helicopters and A-Stars. The helicopters will go out and they will fly up behind these aircraft using night vision. They'll read the numbers, they'll try to figure out who the owners are, call them up. So there's a whole range of responses.
North 8005 west, airdrop in progress. Airdrop in progress. Roger that. Looks like over 25 Copy. We've got a go-fast boat coming in for the pickup.
Our story with Customs is a scenario which is built around that process of trying to challenge criminals who have tremendous resources of their own, who are greatly motivated by fear and by greed to succeed or to escape. And so it's a story of what the Customs Service does when faced with this kind of intractable and resourceful enemy. Well, the black rhino is the most endangered of the big mammals in Africa. At one time, it's thought that there were 1 million of them across the African continent. And it is now fairly certain that there are less than 3,000. In order to save that species, a great deal of work has got to be done. They've got to be managed, and their numbers they've got to be protected where they live. Their propagation has got to be managed so that the gene pool remains healthy and diverse. And they've got to be kept from killing each other in competition, so that as their numbers build up in some of the areas where they are being repopulated, they're not hurting themselves. And so there's a lot of work to be done trying to get enough examples of the species to actually begin to repopulate African countries that do want to rebuild the wildlife populations.
You know, working with these animals, one's got to be very careful at all times. You know, you don't want to waste an animal's life.
Okay, Daryl, are you out?
Yeah, I'm at
Sure. You guys.
Helicopters have been instrumental in doing specific parts of that management. Not only are they useful to dart the animals accurately and with quite a low stress to the animal, but also they're being used now to airlift some of these animals to new locations to separate them from each other so that they don't get into the fighting, which produces fatalities and just reduces the rate of recovery. Now, rhinos are easy compared to the Coast Guard. I think we did very well to get the material that we got, and we could never have done it without the real enthusiastic cooperation of the Coast Guard. And they did it the way they do everything. They threw themselves at it and made it happen for us. It is an evolution that happens at night, where people are in the water, where aircraft are hovering over rough water, boats are sinking, we're shooting air to air. We're trying to illuminate this both from the helicopter and from the ground, and we've got the interior of the helicopter to keep illuminated as well, and we've got all these helicopters to keep in the air at once, and everything needs to be done safely. This is big stuff, even for a giant Hollywood unit, so it was a very difficult sequence to pull off. It's very complex, almost 40 shots in that sequence. Well, I'm not certain how the other members of the crew felt about being in the freezing cold water, but I certainly didn't like it very much. I think it slowed us down. We learned a great deal and got lots of good material from being in that position. It was hard won. And all of this is being done and worked into the normal day-to-day operations of the Coast Guard station at the same time. So there were a lot of demands on those individuals and on us to adapt to the reality of the situation, and so I feel very positive about how that all came out.
get something.
Okay. That looks like a good spot.
My name's Kimberly Kessel. I'm a pilot for the United States Customs Service. My job description is aircraft pilot, and what that means is that I fly various aircraft in various missions. I fly the Citation Interceptor, which is a multi-engine jet. We use that for patrolling the local area, looking for smugglers, airplanes, and boats. And I also fly the Black Hawk helicopter, which we use for the apprehension phase, which is actually catching bad guys. I knew I wanted to be a pilot since I was really young, maybe 4 or 5 years old. Traveled a lot as a child, always loved being inside an airplane, and I thought, you know, maybe I could do this someday. So I decided to go to an aviation university. I went to Embry-Riddle and got an aviation degree, Bachelor of Science, and from there I did various flying jobs. I started out as a flight instructor, built my flight time, flew corporate, I flew for the Army Reserve, I also flew for commuter airline, and along the way I realized law enforcement might be an interesting flying career, so I looked into U.S. Customs and was fortunate enough to have been hired to do just that. Once you're hired as a customs pilot, you have to attend a 4-month training course at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Brunswick, Georgia. And it's strictly law enforcement, it's no aviation. We did courses in law, customs regulations, working with other agencies. We learned how to drive fast. We learned how to shoot well. Any aspect of law enforcement that we could do from the ground. Once we graduate from that, then we return to our air branches and start any aviation training that we need. We learned a whole new type of flying, kind of a tactical sort of flying, more like the military. A lot of different types of scenarios, things that I'd never encountered before. How to chase another airplane, fly in formation, how to land and maybe jump out of a Black Hawk and arrest someone, all things that I'd never really put together with aviation before. Anyone who's interested in any type of career really needs to start thinking about it while they're still in school. When I was in elementary, junior high, high school, of course I had a good idea what I wanted to do, but what courses you take, keeping good grades, being involved in a lot of different things, sports, whatnot, all really contribute to what you end up doing with your life. And math courses, science courses, maybe some non-traditional courses, anything you do to keep your grades up and go to a good school. And you don't necessarily have to go to any special type of college. Just get a college degree and it'll open up a lot of doors for you. I consider myself very fortunate to be flying for Customs. I'm one of 7 women in the country that has this job right now, 7 female customs pilots. I don't know too many people who get to come to work every day and fly airplanes and helicopters pretty much as they want all day long and be doing something good, something worthwhile for their country. So I really feel that this is a great career and I really enjoy every minute of it.
Coming to work every day, you're a little bit excited because you always have the opportunity to get behind the wheel of these fast boats. I pursued a career with the U.S. Customs Service for mainly two reasons. One, my love of the water, because I grew up on the Chesapeake and just loved the water my entire life. And 2, my love of law enforcement. I have a strong family background in law enforcement. My dad was a cop. My uncle was a cop. When you're hired as a Customs Marine Enforcement Officer, Customs Service will send you to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center for 2 boat schools. One is the Maritime Law Enforcement School. The other school is the Advanced Maritime Law Enforcement School. That gives you a good basis for operating in the field. There's a wide variety of fields, whether you want to be a canine officer, a marine officer, an aviation officer, a criminal investigator. Since my career, I've pursued many collateral duties, such as the Special Response Team, which is a customs equivalent to a SWAT team. There are all types of additional trainings consistently offered throughout your career. What Customs does is they keep you learning. They keep you hungry for new technology, for learning new skills, and they always want to keep their employees highly trained and highly motivated. And by offering all these additional trainings and consistently challenging your abilities really keeps you on your toes and keeps you excited about going to work. When a customs boat attempts to stop a fleeing vessel, the Black Hawk is our eyes in the sky, and the air officers and the pilots do a tremendous job by providing the Marine officers with cover. The Black Hawk also puts out a downwash or a downdraft, which creates a big wall of misty water, if you will, wind-driven rain. If you've ever put your head outside the car while you're driving 60 miles an hour during a rainstorm, it's like little needles hitting you in the face. But times that by 3, and that's what you'll get from the Black Hawk. We have been involved in numerous chases, high-speed chases on the water, seizing thousands upon thousands of pounds of cocaine and marijuana. If you're looking for a career that's rewarding, exciting, challenging, and fun, the U.S. Customs Service has an empty seat right there. Could be yours.
My dad was in the Army for a long time, about 22 years, and I was always like, wow, military sounds like a good idea, a good time. And he always had good stories and really enjoyed himself, so figured I'd one-up him and join the Marine Corps, go the better route. We're like their eyes and the ears of the commander that's back on the ship. We go in days, maybe weeks before, anywhere from 7 to 10 days out in the field. Patrol, find the enemy, get eyes on, take pictures, drawings. We come back, we dump all our information that we get to the higher ups, and they interpret that information into intel, and they make their decisions of what they're going to do as far as action, sending in the grunts or aircraft or whatever. Today we're going to do what's called SPY, Special Insert Extract. We have a harness on our body that's tied in to a couple of carabiners. Put these carabiners on the rope. This is a carabiner. Little metal thing, locks, little screw gate, and tie that into the rope. The rope has little hooks on it, all threaded throughout the rope. And we tie those in, give a thumbs up, and helicopter flies up until they clear the treetops, and we fly around. What it's for is if we're under heavy fire in a real world situation, we can quickly extract. They just jerk us out of the trees. So hopefully it works. It's all in your heart. If you cannot come out here and do it 110%, then you have no business being here. It's a lot of hard work, but the work pays off in the long run.
You want to be the Marines to be part of this. Recon just next higher level, the highest level.
It's just that desire to want to do something more. Just want to do something more than just your average Marine. You want to be a special Marine. You want to be a better Marine.
It's definitely a family. You know that guy next to you has got your back no matter what, and that's something that you're not going to get anywhere else. You have pride and professionalism in the Marine Corps carries over to recon, whatever unit you're in. Other guys will notice that. They'll see that and they'll, wow, hey, that guy's good to go.
You want to jump on the bandwagon.
Exactly. It's contagious. It is contagious.
I'm Dr. Doug Grobler. I'm a private wildlife veterinarian. My field is in the capture and relocation of African wildlife. We're talking of extremely endangered species like a black rhino, where there's only 2,500 left in the world. And South Africa is playing the major role in the conservation of the species. On a property like this, where there's a considerable amount of animals, it's very important to continue with, with making sure that they do what they're doing in terms of genetic diversity and creating a bigger population. And very soon animals will have to be translocated from this area. They're already getting to capacity, and to accomplish something like that, where they started with a very small group of animals, is absolutely fantastic. The capture of this specific lot of rhino, they're all unmarked, and it's very difficult for the people here to identify them. There's also a lot of research being taken place in terms of their blood chemistry, the fingerprinting of the animals, and DNA analysis. So all these take place whilst we're doing the marking. Some of the animals are in such difficult terrain that to get the researchers to them, they have to be moved. There's also very soon, as I said to you, going to be relocation taking place of these animals, and a census also took place at the same time. I got interested in veterinary wildlife a long time ago when I was still in school, and just set my heart on it. I was very lucky to get into the Kruger National Park and work there for 13 years. But I've got to continue now on my own, in a private capacity. And one gets around a lot into other wilderness areas, working with a whole lot of very interesting people that feel the same way as that I do, and that makes it worthwhile and nice. All the things that we do is linked to wildlife and linked to what I like. To give somebody an advice, put your heart into it, that's all. And if you really want to become somebody that wants to work with wildlife, just make sure that you specialize and that you become in such a position that you are used or want to be used, and then you'll get there. So it's a hell of a nice job.
Joined the Coast Guard in '93, and at that point I knew I wanted to be a Coast Guard rescue swimmer. Went through boot camp. After that I went to a 210-foot cutter out of St. Pete, Florida. I spent 2 years on there. After my 2 years on the cutter, I went to a small boat station in Clearwater, Florida. At that point I got orders to rescue swimmer school, which is in Elizabeth City, and I've been a helicopter rescue swimmer ever since. I was not a good swimmer when I joined the Coast Guard. Before I went to rescue swimmer school, I went down to the local YMCA and took what was called a stroke conditioning class. And the lady there taught me basically how to swim from basic one. I had a kickboard and some fins on.
SAR launch, put the ready 860 and C-130 on the line. Vessel taking on water, 0.
If somebody's in distress, we jump on the helicopter, we fly out and assess the situation and try to assist these people. I actually had a case, a sailboat, 2 professional sailors actually, a storm blew upon them. It was probably 5 o'clock in the morning. We got on scene and they free-falled me in the water once. I tried to swim to catch the boat, couldn't do it. We told the guy to throw a line out the back of the boat. So he throwed a 35-foot rope out the back. I swam up to the rope and pulled myself up on the boat. I got the helo to drop me the litter, and the helo was able to move in and make a real safe recovery. We flew him into Wilmington, North Carolina, to the hospital. There's no other job that I could have that I could fly out into a helicopter and jump out and get back in and do it over and over again until they take us home. We're on a multi-million-dollar aircraft, and they supply us with the best equipment that money can buy and the best training, and they make it as safe as possible, and we have lots of fun.
What I really love about my job is sitting on the end of that platform. I don't see the helicopter, I don't see the platform, I don't see anything except for open air. That's a thrill. It's just like flying. I'm a lineman for the Ag Rotors helicopter out of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. We work on high voltage transmission lines. There's less than 25 men that actually do what I do. Hopefully there will be more demand as people become more aware of it. We take a helicopter and we have a aluminum platform that's mounted on the skids of the helicopter, and I sit on the end of that and go out and actually energize myself on high voltage transmission lines. Some of the voltages I've energized on have been as low as 69,000 volts, and the highest one I've energized on has been 765,000 volts. That's 750,000 volts of electricity. I put my hot suit on. That protects me from being shocked because the electricity runs over top of my suit. I have a seat belt, I have a harness on. We'll come up to the wire, and I have a metal rod that we call a wand. I'll take that wand and reach out and take the shock of the electricity as we energize the helicopter and myself and the pilot. If I happen to touch anything else, or if I'm on a 500,000 volt line and I came within 12 feet of anything else, that's when we would draw an arc, and that arc would kill us or burn the helicopter up and we'd drop out of the sky. The reason that we use the helicopter is for speed and convenience and safety. With a ground crew, you have to take a truck to get to that structure, and those structures can be many miles apart. With a helicopter, we can fly many miles in just a few minutes. This job is exciting and thrilling, and at times scary until you overcome your fears. If you understand electricity and how it flows, you will be more comfortable on that platform. One other thing that I really like about that, it pays pretty good. If you're going to go into electrical field, if you feel that's where you're drawn to, taking an electrical theory course would be a good way to start. When you go to a power company, they will actually put you through a school. Most of it's on-the-job training, but you'll have night schools at different hours to learn about electricity and about the different things that you will be working with. Go out and try something different that you don't even expect to ever try. You never know where it'll take you.